Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 13 based on novel. So let's start. The huge crimson light wheel was suspended in the sky above Mueller, exuding fiery and violent fluctuations which directly caused the ground below to be withered and cracked, and even the temperature of the lake water rose a lot. Between the lakes, those eyes stared at this scene with a hint of horror. Then, that's actually an immortal fighting skill? It's not surprising that this Mueller is a young city lord and masters immortal rank fighting skills. This Mueller has so many trump cards, then Xiao Yan is going to be in danger. With Mueller's strength and the power of immortal level fighting skills, I am afraid that even those top-notch prides have to be a little more cautious. After all, it's an immortal level fighting skill, and it's enough to change the situation. Many whispers sounded, and those looking at Xiao Yan showed a little more sympathy. When the latter broke through the secret method, he showed a very strong background, but unfortunately, he did not seize the time after all, and now the secret time is over, and all that awaits him is, this Xiao Yan is still young and energetic. If he endured today's tone and turned back to devour the crescent green fruit to practice, I am afraid that Mueller will really help him. Someone sighed inwardly. There was a trace of warmth in Yueru's eyes, and a rune like a crescent-shaped birthmark slowly glowed. Yueru also felt the terrifying power contained in Mueller's fighting skills. If Xiao Yan was touched by that power, even a little bit, his fate would be doomed forever. Don't worry, I believe I can handle it. Xiao Yan was also aware of Yueru's actions. Although he didn't know what that crescent-like rune was, the price of trying to use it was definitely not small. Yueru also looked at Xiao Yan, who was still calm as always, and bit her lips slightly. She didn't know why, but she still believed in Xiao Yan. The slowly glowing crescent moon rune also fell silent. Now, Yueru also smiled at Xiao Yan. Among those many sympathetic eyes, Xiao Yan's expression was also slightly solemn. He looked at the huge crimson light wheel condensed above Mueller's head, and the fluctuations emanating from it were extremely violent. This kind of power is indeed far beyond ordinary heaven-level fighting skills. Moreover, Xiao Yan also discovered that the spiritual energy of heaven and earth all over his body also solidified at this moment. I actually master the fighting skills of the immortal rank. Xiao Yan whispered to himself, this Mueller is indeed a formidable enemy. If he has not broken through the 3-star Do Emperor, I am afraid that he will be able to face the opponent's attack like this. Choose to retreat. But unfortunately, the milky white flame instantly covered the whole body, and the fighting chi continued to gather, beginning to pour out of Xiao Yan's body at this time, constantly whistling around him, and finally gradually expanding, like a milky white tornado, entangling him. The astonishing fluctuations were released, and even the lake water under his feet was trembling. Those eyes outside the lake noticed this scene and burst into amazement. I'm asking you something, hand over the crescent moon fruit, otherwise, die. Mueller looked up at Xiao Yan and howled, as if a king was judging a sinner. Xiao Yan looked at the majestic Mueller in the sky, his vindictiveness restrained, and the ancient ruler of eternal fire in his hand exuded a strong power. It's up to you. Not worthy. Xiao Yan also said calmly. Although we have no grievances or enmity, since you don't know the good and the bad, then you will be offended. Immortal fighting skill, magic spear golden wheel. Mueller attacked Xiao Yan from the sky with the magic spear. Bringing up the water of Qianzhong Lake, the terrifying golden wheel aura is strong and terrifying even in this space where the strongest are suppressed, as you wish. The first foot of the 7-layered sky-shattering ruler, the first step of the 3-step swimming ruler. Xiao Yan shouted loudly. The terrifying flame power is attached to the ancient ruler of the eternal fire. With Xiao Yan's mobilization, the huge flame power and Xiao Yan's own vindictive energy merged together, and it also brought a water column of thousands of meters from the lake. Bang bang bang. The different fire constant ancient ruler and the magic spear collided with each other. Boom boom boom. At this moment, the originally calm lake surface was turbulently rolled by the strength of the two of them. Xiao Yan forcibly stabilized himself in this fierce battle, raised his pale face, wiped the blood from the corners of his mouth, and a bit of madness also appeared in his dark eyes. Come out with full strength. The frantic surging in his eyes, Xiao Yan spat out the blood foam from his mouth, his hands changed handprints again, and a huge phantom shrouded his body again. A phantom appeared, and Xiao Yan felt a sense of dizziness in his mind, but he still gritted his teeth. The terrifying impact of the soul emerged, and finally spread to Mueller, who was originally concentrating on mobilizing the spiritual energy of the surrounding world to supplement his fighting skills. At that moment, Mueller's pupils were all dimmed. First the fairy step fighting skills, followed by a powerful soul attack, 2 consecutive shocks. The damage to him is too great. A large mouthful of blood spurted out of Muller's mouth. He looked grimly at Xiao Yan, who was calm in front of him, but found that the latter smiled wildly at him, flipped his palm, and a delicate fire lotus of 23 colors quietly emerged. Then slammed it on Mueller's body. Blast, boom, the fire lotus erupted, and the bald-headed Mueller was directly blown away thousands of feet. Along the way, he spat out a mouthful of blood as if he didn't want money. He didn't expect that he was ruthless, and Xiao Yan was even more ruthless than him, and he directly exchanged punches for punches. This Xiao Yan is so terrifying, actually defeated Muller in the middle stage of the Samdo Di with the strength of the early Samdo Di, the people around whispered. Anyone can see that the battle has been decided so far. Young city lord, are you all right? A follower who was also bald hurriedly helped Mueller up. Mueller's speed was too fast, and their entourage hurried on their way. After finally chasing Mueller, they saw that Mueller was beaten so badly by others. The injured Mueller was not in a coma, but he was seriously injured and looked at Xiao Yan fiercely. Let's go. It seems that this great fortune cannot be continued, too many methods have been exposed, and then the entourage carried the bald Mueller on his back and flew in the opposite direction. All he can do now is to quickly treat the injury of the young city master. Of course, someone else will take care of it. Xiao Yan also knew that there was no need to separate life and death, and he should keep a hand on Mueller. Although he saw that Mueller was seriously injured, he avoided the key point. He was breathing heavily. It's all right, Nuo, the crescent moon green fruit you want. Xiao Yang took out 3 ripe crescent moon green fruit found at the bottom of the lake to Yueru. Although he did get more than 10 at the time, for Yueru, 3 were enough, and of course Xiao Yang took the rest. Yueru was really surprised to see that Xiao Yang was calm in the face of Mueller, and even defeated Mueller in the end. Let's go, it's time to go to the depths of the ruins to take a look. Xiao Yang also took a short rest and then said to Yueru. The people who were there to watch the excitement also dispersed one after another, because they also witnessed the battle between Xiao Yang and N.A. Mueller, and they only had one thought in their hearts. This Xiao Yang is not easy to mess with. Far above the lake, an invisible ray of light was suspended in the sky, and the vast and majestic soul power, like a tide, was centered on it and quickly swept out in all directions. At this moment, in the entire small mountain range, except for a few extremely powerful except for the rank monsters, the rest of the monsters felt an extremely strong soul pressure. Under this kind of soul pressure, their bodies could not help but tremble slightly. Xiao Yang is so powerful that he can actually use his soul power to absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth to replenish himself. You couldn't help looking at Xiao Yang in the air. After getting to know Xiao Yang from the Alchemist Association at the beginning, Xiao Yang caused a huge shock to Yu everywhere, and later he rescued his father, which also caused Yu to have some different emotions, although Xiao Yang also has some feelings. What she noticed, but Xiao Yang thought that she was grateful to her father for saving her, and didn't think about it at all. Yueru looked at the invisible light in the sky, the vast soul power, even her father. I am afraid there is a feeling of panic. Her father's strength is reflected in strength, but if it is compared to the soul, the two fathers may not be able to keep up with the current Xiao Yang. The soul power that spreads out like a tide. After nearly a few minutes, it gradually dissipated, and the invisible light slowly appeared under Yueru's gaze. The light dissipated, and a figure with a heavy ruler in black appeared faintly. Upon closer inspection, it was Xiao Yang, but now that Xiao Yang's body was much better than before. Recovered? Yueru also said happily. Xiao Yang's repeated efforts to save himself must be more than just friendship. Yueru's pink face couldn't help but think. However, Yueru also knows that the soul is too illusory for the powerhouses of this era, and the power of the soul is colorless and invisible. If you want to condense the soul of nothingness into the shape of a human, and not leave it for a long time, even some powerhouses of the D level are difficult to do. Let's go to, I can feel that there is no dragon demon core here, so I can only go to the main hall to try my luck. Xiao Yang also recovered his strength and said to Yueru. In fact, the previous battle with Mueller did not consume much strength, but Xiao Yang deliberately went late to save some trouble. Thank you for the crescent moon green fruit. Yu followed Xiao Yang with her lips lightly biting. It's nothing to worry about. Xiao Yang also laughed. As time passed by, more and more people gathered in the depths of the ruins. An ancient stone gate slowly blocked in front of the main hall, because everyone present knew that once they crossed this stone gate, there would be countless wealth and wealth behind, and even more immortal level fighting skills. Gongfa. Even rare treasures of heaven and earth, this is the greatest wealth. However, they are also clear that this relic limits their strength, so the stone gate in front of them will definitely not be able to break through, so they can only wait until the seal is weakened and slowly open. However, at this rate of weakening, it will be opened in no more than 3 days at most. Let's settle down here now, it seems that we can only wait. Even in the ruins, there is a distinction between day and night, and in a blink of an eye, night comes. In an empty forest, a bonfire silhouetted the two figures. It was Xiao Yan and Yueru. Let's taste it. Xiao Yan picked up a chicken leg and said to Yueru. The temperature at night was a bit low, so Xiao Yan made a fire and grabbed a low-level monster as a food to barbecue to satisfy his hunger. Even if the Do-D strong man did not eat for a few days, it would not affect him, because the Do-D strong man could rely on heaven and earth. Riki replenishes itself, so I don't rely so much on whole grains, but I don't eat it for nothing, right? Breakthrough, I didn't think the barbecue you made was quite delicious. Yueru also gently tore a little into her mouth, and the familiar taste made her appetite greatly increased. Ha ha ha, I've been away all the year round, and these things will gradually get better. Xiao Yang is not as elegant as you are, and he gulps down the barbecue in front of him. Bang bang bang. The 3 leaves charged towards Xiao Yang and the 2 with overwhelming energy. Yueru, be careful. Xiao Yang has been walking outside all year round, so naturally he has the awareness that he cannot let his guard down at all time. The strange fire all over the body was instantly activated, and the 3 leaves were instantly turned into nothingness. Yueru obviously didn't expect someone to attack them so late, and she was also taken aback. Fortunately, Xiao Yang reminded her, and she immediately entered the battle preparations. Who are you, sneaky? Xiao Yang's soul power locked on the trail of the person who attacked them at the moment when the mysterious man made his move. Come out. A milky white flame went towards the position where the mysterious man was standing. The flames brought bursts of high temperature, as if possessing wisdom. Which forest trees were bypassed directly, and the mysterious man was hit directly was it discovered. A big tree upload comes from talking to itself. Bang! The mysterious man jumped off the big tree and fell into Xiao Yang's field of vision. The average man is innocent and guilty. The crescent moon green fruit is a good thing, but if you don't have the strength to protect it, you will only give your life in vain. Suddenly a voice came out from the mountain, and only one figure was seen walking out. In that forest, there was only one. The figure stood still, his body was sturdy, like an iron tower, his eyes glanced away, and his eyes were filled with a strong desire for war. Like a ferocious ape. He grinned at Xiao Yang and laughed loudly, then without any hesitation, he stomped the soles of his feet, and his body rose to the sky, and he walked towards Xiao Yang after a few jumps. It doesn't make you worry about it. Xiao Yang also said coldly. Yueru, who was beside him, naturally recognized this person, and Mueller is known as the Heaven's Chosen, one of the 8 great cities of Qingcheng. Sun Ming, a born fighting maniac. This person turned out to be the late Samsung Do-D. However, Xiao Yang is also not afraid. He possesses the 3 mysterious transformations of heavenly fire, and also has the immortal rank fighting skill of Eternal Fire, Eternal Ancient Ruler, Soul Attack, and Eclectic Fire has obvious suppressing effect on such people. I didn't mean to come here today, I just wanted to confirm whether the recently rumored Xiao Yang is as powerful as the rumors. After speaking, he also looked at Xiao Yang carefully, and then waved away casually. It's not so much that I am interested in what you have on your body. It is better to say that you actually defeated Mueller, who was in the middle stage of the Samsung Do Emperor, by virtue of your strength in the early stage of the Samsung Do-D, which really surprised me. You will be a very good opponent. There will be a meeting in the depths of the ruins. Then let's see if you have the ability. Xiao Yang also responded with a smile. Is there anything in me that deserves their attention? Xiao Yang was also puzzled. It should be your strange fire. Although these living dead are cold, it is not ruled out that they will do strange experiments with strange fires like heaven and earth. The Golden Dragon King also said slowly. Forget it, take one step at a time. One night of silence, 3 days passed in a blink of an eye. The seal of the stone gate in front of everyone also weakened at this moment and is about to open. Outside Xiamen was crowded with people, and the 3-day boring wait was over. Crash! The space in front of me is violently distorted. It made a rushing sound like water, and with the spread of this sound, the fluctuations in that space became more and more violent. Looking at this momentum, Xiamen is about to open. There was no lack of Humane with vicious eyes. Looking at the energy seal that became more and more illusory under the fluctuations, outside the sea of people, the eyes of countless people quietly glowed red, and even their breathing became much heavier, holding weapons. The palms are also slowly exerting force. I don't know what kind of blood there will be in a competition for treasures. Xiao Yan also said with emotion. Then Xiao Yan looked at the increasingly distorted space with his eyes narrowed. In the strange clattering sound, he felt an extremely terrifying energy fluctuation. This fluctuation was extremely manic, as if being suppressed in the volcano under the Earth's crust is like a crazy eruption. Crash, there was another strange rushing sound. The distorted space suddenly condensed, and then there was only a crisp bang. The distorted space was like a fragile glass, with a pop burst into countless tiny space debris. Come on, the ruins are open. At the moment when the seal of space burst, there were countless figures around the sea of people. Their eyes were immediately red, and there was a low greedy roar from their throats. With the gradual opening of the stone gate, a desolate and ancient aura slowly drifted out, causing many people to look solemn. For many people, things from the ancient times were quite sacred. Seeing the open stone gate, Xiao Yan moved, swept back lightly, and then returned to his previous position. Seeing his actions, many people twitched their mouths and cursed at the treacherous person in their hearts. Xiao Yan made it clear that he did not want to be the first to enter this mysterious ruin. The door slowly opened, and the creaking sound gradually ceased. Everyone in the square looked at each other, but no one dared to set foot in it first. Xiao Yan ignored the silence outside Shemen. He touched Nagia with his fingers, and the smile on the corner of his mouth was quite bright. He didn't expect that he had just entered the ruins. The Golden Dragon King sensed the Dragon Demon core. Outside the Shemen, there will be some strong men from time to time coming from outside, obviously some strong men who discovered the opening of the stone gate, and seeing more and more strong men coming together, those who arrived first, the people and the forces couldn't hold it any longer. After a while, someone finally walked into the stone gate slowly and couldn't help it. The screams were endless. Fast back! Compared with these sullen people, Xiao Yan's expression changed at the moment when the space exploded. He grabbed Yueru beside him, a little tree trunk at his toes, and his body suddenly retreated. The 5 major cities beside him. The proud son of heaven also sensed something was wrong, reacted extremely quickly, and immediately retreated without hesitation. When Xiao Yan and the others retreated, there were suddenly a lot of figures on the surrounding giant trees, and they were obviously also finding something. Just as Xiao Yan and the others retreated violently, the shards of the space seal that burst open suddenly stopped, and then only a loud bang was heard. The power of the violent space, like a storm, swept away in all directions, and those who rushed the fastest were the first to bear the brunt. Almost in the blink of an eye, were swallowed by the storm. Immediately, shrill screams resounded one after another on the sea of fire. The scum that was swallowed up is not left. This space seal is so terrifying. The violent spatial ripples, like harvesting wheat, destroyed all the crowds that were rushing in front of them, leaving no room for them. On the other hand, some of the powerhouses in the back finally realized that something was wrong, so the crowd that was rushing forward suddenly turned around and fled in embarrassment. Tens of thousands of figures are constantly moving in series, because if they don't run, they will be waiting for them. Die? Let them be greedy, and they have to have that life to enjoy. That's why this scene is in front of them. Bang! Because there was a certain distance, when the space storm spread, it would not cause any harm to Xiao Yang and others. At this time, the few people breathed a sigh of relief, and when their eyes swept away, they saw countless miserable howls. The screaming figure rolled on the ground, and the bright red blood stained a large area of land outside Shemen. What a terrifying space seal! After countless years, it can still have such a terrifying impact. It is worthy of being a relic of the peak of the Emperor Do. See the destructive power caused by this space fluctuation. Surroundingly, a look of shock appeared on the cheeks of the honored sons of the 8 great cities and others. Let's go. These guys are too impatient and deserve bad luck. Xiao Yang smiled and waved his palm, and his figure turned into a rainbow glow, swept away at the stone gate. At the same time, many other powerhouses who had also successfully avoided the spatial fluctuations also immediately cast the figure turned into blurred silhouettes and swept into the stone gate. The Emperor's cave has finally opened at this moment. With the gradual approach, some of the grey fog floating in the stone gate gradually became thinner, and the behemoth finally appeared in the field of vision of Xiao Yang and others. Stepping into the stone gate and looking around, the deepest part of the stone gate is a great hall, a huge hall nearly 1,000 feet huge, almost like a small mountain peak. The Soul Hall branch hall has become abnormally small. Looking up at this gigantic creature standing between heaven and earth, a sense of insignificance arises spontaneously. Then the so-called great fortune should be where? The people present also understood. The whole body of the giant hall was red, and from a distance, it seemed like a flame was rising. In this grey-white space, it was extremely dazzling. The surrounding powerhouses were also a little lost because of the large scale of the Crimson Giant Hall. After a while, they came back to their senses and looked at each other with shocking expressions in their eyes, worthy of being the Emperor level. Left by the strong, such handwriting is indeed majestic and atmospheric. She. One after another, the figures gradually slowed down, and then stopped a few hundred meters away from the stone gate. Standing here, the giant hall was even more huge. At a glance, the top of the giant hall seemed to be inserted into a cloud peak. No wonder it has to be covered up with a space seal, such a huge hall. Wherever it is placed, it is a conspicuous existence. Xiao Yan also said in surprise. Let's go this way. My soul power has sensed the breath of dragon monsters. Xiao Yan said while pulling you. Then why don't we go to the main hall? What about the great fortune? Yueru also said in a heartbeat. Although Yueru didn't have much hope for the great fortune, she wanted to see it. If it was so easy to get, it wouldn't be great fortune. Xiao Yang also knew that the top priority was to find the dragon demon core first. It seems that their brains are flooded, and they don't take good fortune. But it doesn't matter, since that's the case, we also have one less opponent. Let's go. The living dead who stole Xiao Yan's fake crescent moon green fruit said in disapproval. Miss, let's go too. I don't want it. I have to follow them. Feng Yi said stubbornly. As an alchemist, she certainly knew the powerful soul power in Xiao Yang's body. Maybe Xiao Yang could give her inspiration to make a breakthrough. And she can feel that it is more important to break through the pharmacist rank than that great fortune. Xiao Yang and the others landed on a huge grey-black tree. Their eyes looked straight ahead, only to see that there was a vast forest. The forest was full of trees that alternated between grey and white. These trees had no branches and leaves. Only the bare tree trunks, from a distance, look like a forest of sharp spears, which makes people feel a chill. However, Xiao Yang and the others didn't stop there too much. They directly locked the position in the middle of the forest, only to see a dead air filled there, a grey-white shadow snoring like a dream demon. Because according to what the Golden Dragon King said, the dragon monsters live here. Xiao Yang's terrifying soul force directly attacked the sky and covered the earth, directly piercing the thick dead aura, and the scene in the depths of the forest quickly became clear in his eyes, and he could only see a big tree in the depths. Down, a black shadow was entrenched, like a lizard. The shadow's body was actually dressed in black armor. The armor surface was entangled with death energy, and when the death energy fluctuated, even Xiao Yang's complexion was dignified. The death aura possessed by this black monster is far more powerful than the living dead that Xiao Yang and the others have met before. Obviously, just from the perception of the aura, we know that this is a monster that can rival the 4-star Do-D. What? When Xiao Yang visited this powerful beast with the help of the clan Mark, he suddenly let out a sigh, because he found that the armor on the beast's body seemed to be quite broken, and even on the surface of its body, there were deep lines. Scarlet scars revealing grey bones. And there are still some fresh wounds, apparently recently injured, and the death energy of this beast is also slightly disordered, as if it had experienced a war before. What? Yueru, who was beside him, also asked in a low voice, looking at Xiao Yang, who frowned slightly. This monster seems to have suffered some trauma. Xiao Yang also said with some doubts, he had used his soul power to visit the periphery before, and there were no other teams nearby. Where did this monster's injury come from? Xiao Yang Ren was also a little surprised when he heard this, and immediately smiled. Said, it seems that God really helped us. A wounded beast is better than a normal one. Xiao Yang also smiled. He didn't worry too much about it. His eyes turned, looking at the death forest, his eyes flickered. Yueru looked at Xiao Yang and said, there are a lot of monsters in this area, but looking at the footprints, I think they were driven out by this demon dragon, so the demon dragon should have been injured because of this. Let's go. I will wrap you with my soul power and go in and have a look. Xiao Yang said. Xiao Yang felt that things were not so simple, and it was better to be careful. After all, this was a monster that was comparable to a human 4-star Do Emperor. A 4-star Do Emperor, if it wasn't for the beast's injury and the presence of the Golden Dragon King, Xiao Yan with the character of self-confidence is categorically not coming. Although this lizard with dragon blood is extremely powerful, its perception of soul power is much weaker. As long as Xiao Yan and the others do not deliberately provoke the dragon lizard, it is impossible for the dragon lizard to find them. When Xiao Yang and the others started rushing towards the direction of the bloodthirsty dragon lizard, the place where the dragon lizard was had already been visited by a group of people, and it became extremely hot. There were a large number of figures in white standing outside the entrance of the cave where the dragon lizards inhabited. An astonishing cold air permeated from their bodies. Even the temperature of this world was affected and lowered a lot. In front of the large group of white shadows, there are two hunched old figures. Between these two people standing at will, there are two majestic cold and evil auras that slowly spread out, giving people a kind of very depressed feeling. Among the two, the most eye-catching is the old man in the middle. The old man had white hair and beard, and was leaning on a dragon-headed crutch that looked like a white jade. The dragon's giant mouth was wide open, and a pair of gloomy dragon eyes showed gloomy meaning. Compared with the famous old man, he looks extraordinarily ordinary, with no energy spilling out from his body, and even that old face is abnormally dry, with slightly squinted eyes, revealing a bit of turbidity. Ordinary old people have no difference at all. What is surprising is that this seemingly unremarkable old man is standing in the middle of the team, and even the majestic white-clothed old man is half a step behind him. Between the eyebrows, there is a little respect. Around Jianko, there are still many people watching the excitement, and when they saw this battle, they were all shocked. Especially when they saw the special snow patterns on these people's clothes, it was even more. There was a commotion. It turned out to be from Solomon? Yueru exclaimed. Solomon is one of the most powerful forces in this mysterious spirit continent. Although there are few good or bad rumors, there is no doubt about Solomon's strength and reputation. Don't worry, let's take a look at their purpose first. Xiao Yan was also surprised that Solomon would also set his sights on this bloodthirsty dragon. These people have an unusual aura. The Golden Dragon King also carefully felt the aura of Solomon in front of him. I always feel that their strength seems to be a little floating. Is it my illusion? The Golden Dragon King murmured to himself. Dragon Lizard, we are here just to borrow your dragon blood. The white-haired old man who took the lead said to the bloodthirsty dragon lizard cradling at the entrance of the cave. Boom boom boom. The bloodthirsty dragon lizard swung its huge tail angrily. Damn humans! If I hadn't been ambushed by you before, I would have killed you. The dragon lizard roared. These people in front of them actually poisoned themselves when they were eating, causing them to fall into a sluggishness for a short time. The two old men headed by them did not hesitate to attack with all their strength. Although the demon dragon lizard was enough to rival the 4-star Do Emperor powerhouse, but now that he is seriously injured, and the two are also the peak of the 3-star Do D, they are not their opponents. And it can be seen that the dragon lizard is very afraid of the dragon-headed crutch in the hands of the white-haired old man, even afraid. However, although the dragon lizard was seriously injured, how could the dragon beast give in so easily? Immediately facing the forest is a dragon roar. Boom boom boom. Overwhelming monsters came from all directions, and among them there were 3 monsters that were comparable to the late Samsung Do D. Oops, this beast actually called its subordinates, "You're careless." The white-haired old man at the head yelled badly, thinking that he could easily conquer the dragon with this dragon-headed cane. Prepare to fight, you hold the other beasts, second child, follow me to kill this dragon lizard. The white-haired old man said. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.